Chapter 7. I strained my ears. Clip clop, clip clop. What was that noise outside? The little Gruthus boy. Where was he? In front of his house? Clip clop, clip clop. Jumping rope? Did he jump as high as I used to? I looked out the window. I wanted to see, not just hear. I got up, I took one step, and then another one. Sinai wasn't paying any attention. There, I'd passed the safe side of the bed. And another 2 steps, and I'd be able to see him. Clip clop, clip clop. He must be jumping high, because he came down hard. Annie, have you lost your mind? Come back. I did, startled. Why did you yell at me? You scared me. Had I forgotten? Sinai asked. What would happen if somebody saw me? No, I hadn't. But what was so terrible about Poland? I stood in front of Sinai. Tell me, how often could they beat you? Very often, she said. I wouldn't care, really, Sinai, you hear that? I stamped my foot. From downstairs, Dianche called, For God's sake, girls, be quiet. He probably couldn't jump as high as Fritz could. Fritz who? Who did this? What an awful thing to do. In all my life, I haven't been this mad. Opie stormed into our room. Furiously, she looked from Sinai to me. Come with me. I want to show you something terrible. We followed her to the back bedroom. But Opie, we're not allowed in there as long as the man's building the air raid shelter. He's not here this afternoon. She pushed us inside. I want you to look at this. The bottom drawer of the chest was open. War and Peace was lying in it. So, Dianche was going to take it back in a day or two. Who put that book there? I did, Opie, I said. Look what you put it on. Don't you have eyes? The only thing I still have left of my mother's. I looked underneath the book. Was a lace cap. Part of it was pleated. You mean that, Opie? Yes, that. What else? That cap, never has anybody done anything like this to me before. But Opie, I didn't know. What's there to know? Couldn't you see? I don't know if I could ever forgive you. Opie, I'm just sure she didn't mean to, Sinai said. Opie didn't seem to hear. She bent down and took the book off the cap. With a disgusted look on her face, she pushed the book in my hands. Here, such a heavy book it had to be, too. Opie, I'm sorry. I had trouble keeping the tears out of my voice. What a miserable day. I don't care. You've ruined my cap. Opie seemed to have trouble with her voice, too. What's going on? Dianche startled, talking as she came up the stairs. That little one put the book you got for them on top of my cap. Why didn't she look where she put it? Now it's ruined. Come, show me. Maybe we can fix it. The cap wasn't broken or anything. What was wrong with it? I told Opie I was sorry. I know you didn't mean to. Now let's see. Dianche pushed at it, smoothed it. I'll press the pleats. Then it'll look all right. You really didn't have to make such a fuss. My goodness, you've had this thing for so long, Mother. Can't you see she's sorry? Give her a kiss, Annie, and she won't be angry anymore. Hesitantly, I approached Opie, but she walked away. Anybody home? Woo, you. I'm coming upstairs, it's me. Dinny Hannock had come to see us, but why today? Opie was angry, and I was miserable. What did Dinny want? She had come to warn us, she said. The Germans are planning a house-to-house search tonight. They're looking for an underground worker who they think is hiding somewhere in Uselo. The man had broken into an office in Enschede where food coupons were kept. Dinny explained. He was going to distribute them to people who were hiding Jews, but somebody had betrayed him. Abruptly, she left. There was someone else she had to warn. What would we have to do now? I wish Johann was home, Dianche complained. What a situation, Opie said. Let's have an early supper. What's that got to do with it? Dianche's voice cracked. Where's Johann? I don't want the soldiers to come when he isn't at home. I'm scared. What you mean, where's Johann? It's Thursday. He's in Bokolo, of course. Dianche, keep your wits together. Just because Dinny... Sinai and I went to our rooms. It was not dark enough yet and wouldn't be for another hour. Now Dianche was angry too. When Johann came home, he said, "Don't worry about the search. That's nothing. Now we'll show the Germans what a fine hiding place you've got. But we'd have to spend the night in it," he said, "so that Sinai's mattress wouldn't be around. They might rush in without warning." Johann, the girls would choke in that place. All night. What's the matter with you? Opie sounded angry. "Ma, we won't close it up. We'll have enough time to put the board in and arrange all the stuff on the shelf." "But Johann, they can't stand up all night." "Ma, they can sit down. For one night they'll be all right." "What if they don't find the person they're looking for?" Sinai asked. Johann scratched his head. "Then what? Would we never go to bed again?" "Tomorrow night we'll all go to sleep regardless." "But Johann," Dianche protested. "I'm already such a poor sleeper," Opie said from her chair. "And with this, I might just as well not bother going to bed." "Nonsense, Ma. You always say you can't sleep, but boy do you snore. You can't tell me you snore sitting up awake." "I don't snore either. Do I, Dianche?" "Johann's right." "Girls, did you ever hear me?" I didn't dare say anything. What if she got angry again? "It's hard to tell, Opie, with all those airplanes flying overhead at night. Maybe that's what Johann and Dianche have you mixed up with." That was clever of Sinai. Opie looked pleased. "They may not start the search until early morning," Johann said, "when they figure everybody's asleep. I sure hope they won't find the girls. Hey, Dianche," he nudged her with his elbow. "Look at Ma." Opie was sitting up straight with her arms folded across her stomach, but her head was wobbling. Slowly it sank down until her chin touched her apron. There it stayed for a second. Then her head moved sideways and all the way over to her shoulder. A drop of spittle slowly moved to the corner of her half-opened mouth. Would it slide down the side of her chin? No, she sucked it in. Her head jerked up, stayed up for a moment, and started the trip again. Funny, it moved back to the same shoulder. What did she say, Johann?" "Nothing. Ma, I thought you never slept." "I don't." "Can't kid us. You've got 4 witnesses. Johann, I think maybe we should all go to bed. It's after 10, Dianche said. "Mother, you go too." With difficulty, Opie got up from her chair. "Johann, don't forget to leave the closet door open. We can't have them die on us." "Oh, Mother," Dianche seemed annoyed. "They'll be all right. You're always worrying about the girls, as if Johann and I don't know what's what." "Now, if somebody knocked on the door tonight, I'll go down and let him in," Johann said. "After Dianche and I close up your hiding place, all you girls have to do then is to be quiet. If they open the closet and look around in it, don't move. If they knock on the wall to see if there's a space behind them, don't move. We got it." And we got in, and Johann crouched in front of the closet. "If you need anything, call us. You hear? Don't worry about a thing. You hear?" Dianche stuck her hand inside the hole. "That feels like Annie's leg, right?" "Where's your hand?" She put 2 round cold things in it. "Apples. That's for when you get hungry. They're the kind you girls like." We stood and sat and stood and sat. Sinai and I were so tired. I leaned against her. "I shouldn't fall asleep," she said. "But it was night and very dark. Why should I sleep? Why shouldn't I sleep? When are they coming, Sinai?" She didn't know, she said. Maybe they had already found the person they were looking for, in which case they wouldn't come at all. I might be here all night for nothing but Sinai. "Can you say the alphabet backwards?" she asked. Animately, I started reciting. I had never known how hard it was. It would take a long time to do it right. "Girls, I'm so worried about you." Opie's voice came from the right in front of the hiding place. "Can you really breathe in there? Poor things. Can I get you something?" "Maybe something to drink, Opie?" "I'll go downstairs and make you some tea." Never mind. Maybe NMLK. Maybe by the time I got to A, she'll be back," I hurried. "Here, stick your hand out. Careful, it's hot." "Whose hand is that? Sinai's?" "What time is it, Opie?" I asked. "A little after 2. Can you hear the planes in there?" "Yes." I took another sip. "Are you still mad at me?" Mad? Nah. I can't understand how Johann and Dianche can sleep through all this noise. You feel better? Much, Opie. I smiled in the dark. We handed her the empty mugs. Opie, you're wonderful, Sinai said. So what good does that do me? Opie answered. She moaned and groaned as she got to her feet. Now she was going back to bed. She was going to stretch out her legs and lean against a pillow. Bed. Ugh, the hot tea had made me so sleepy. Sinai, please let me sleep. No, she pulled me to my feet and pinched me. You've got to stay awake, Annie. I'll never be able to wake you if they come. Wait, I'll teach you a little English. Then when you go back to school, you'll be the only one who knows some. Give me your hand. H-A-N-D. Hand. These 5 things are fingers. F-I-N-G-E-R-S. Fingers. How do you say Dunmo in English, Sinai? Dead tired. The night was over and the soldiers had not come. With stiff, sore legs, we stumbled over to the bed. Sinai took a mirror out of her pocket. I had never seen her face that white. After a fast look at herself, she put the mirror down. Slowly, her fingers traced over her eyelids. They were puffed. Then she turned and buried her head in the pillow. I picked up the mirror. Was that me? Couldn't be. I put the mirror under my pillow, away from Sinai. I stroked the sheet. Bed. It wasn't fair. Why had Johanna asked only Sinai to come to the stable with him tonight? Just because she knew something about cows? So what? I hadn't enjoyed sitting in the closet either. Was she so special? Dianche didn't think so. Annie, don't spoil my good mood. Sinai looked at me pleadingly. Why shouldn't I? I wanted to walk to the stable too and back. Even back. I picked up the book I had been reading, the same War and Peace book. When was someone going to take it back and get another one? I opened it anyway. Brooding. I wasn't going to do any math today. That would spoil her mood all right. My heart was beating furiously. I had been right. Her face was already red.